We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us.
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast.
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. This is like the quote unquote Halloween episode, but this is still going to post before Halloween. It's posting on the next one's going to be
posting on the 31st. It's posting on Tuesday.
That's right. Okay, never mind. Forget that.
Sean doesn't know what time it is. See, there's a thing. This thing about leap years and how they skip every.
So that's okay. So it lined up that way.
Yeah. So Halloween's on a Tuesday this year.
Halloween's on a Tuesday only every 400 years.
That's not true.
Come on.
Do you guys know that Halloween falls on Friday the 13th this year? Haven't you ever seen that going around the internet?
No.
It goes around every few years where somebody posts that of like, oh, crazy, Halloween falls on Friday the 13th this year. And some idiot fall for it. Some dumb nincompoops.
It's probably all the round earthers.
Yep. Your lights are pulsating.
Oh my God. That's because this is our spooky Halloween episode. I mean, granted. Wow. Oh, thunderclap and lightning crash. And Geraldo. Geraldo Rivera noise sound effects. Rat-a-tat-tat, Conan. Kersplash, kablamo, Conan. Even though we've been keeping our episodes particularly creepy for the month of October, this one has to be especially creepy because this one falls on All Hallows Eve. So I have a dad joke that doesn't. I couldn't check the one. I mean, I could check the one that's on Halloween itself, I guess. If that would be fitting. It's during the following week, but what do you do? But the one I did land on for this week is it's a little scary in itself. So let's just do it. I stepped on some cornflakes this morning. I guess I'm a serial killer. Oregon.
I'll make it happen.
Nice. Well, Matt, what we're doing again this year is what we've done. Previous.
Of course.
We checked out. We dug through the.
By the way,
varying levels.
Before you start, by the way, welcome to High School Famous.
Oh yeah. Well,
Matt,
I'm Sean. I'm Sean.
Formalities.
So we're gonna
continue.
So, Matt, how was your birthday? What'd you do?
Oh, what didn't I do? I mean,
don't lead with that. That's tacky.
I went to work as you do.
Oh, gross.
Then I
wait. Did your work? Did they throw you a party? Did they have a banner? Did they have cake?
We have a tradition at my job that when it's your birthday, you bring in donuts.
Oh, okay, nice.
So I might have brought in donuts.
Yeah, sure.
At this,
at the Dunkin'.
Yeah, at the the
local donut.
Well, I might have gone to Dunkin' or maybe a grocery store and bought donuts. I may not have. Who knows?
That's true.
I mean, me last week hadn't decided yet at what I was going to do. So I'll leave that.
Yeah.
I probably did.
Last week you really leaves things to the last minute.
Yeah. If last week me were right now me, he might have just remembered that he might have to do that.
That's what his company does.
So I worked. Then then later that evening I hopped on a plane and flew back home for a couple of days.
They don't want you to hop on a plane if it's accelerating or decelerating.
Right. I was actually freaked out the other week because I realized I had to have my license renewed before flying.
That's right.
So it was actually that Thursday evening before I went out to Six Flags. I luckily got in to get my license because everything's appointment only now. And luckily I got an appointment like at the last second to go get it done because I was like, I'm flying out to Minnesota on my birthday. I need a license.
I was able to get an appointment the day before my birthday.
Nice. I scheduled it that morning too. Luckily, like appointment.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because like when I looked online, there wasn't anything available, and it's like new appointments show up every at 7:00 every day. So like that morning at 7:00, I'm like jumping on. I'm like, oh, they're all there, and I scheduled the latest one I could for the day because I'm like, I'm gonna be at work, and then at the end of the day, I'll go out there. I'm like, I'll just take the latest one. If I get there early and I have to wait, I don't care. I'll sit there and wait until my appointment time. But I got there and like I was waiting outside and she's like, oh yeah, you might have to wait. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, I just wanted to make sure I could get here and everything. And then I actually ended up getting in and out of there before my my scheduled time anyway. I was back in my car before my actual time was starting.
Wow, what a great birthday party.
Well, that was not my birthday party, but no. Yeah. So yeah, I went to Minnesota and hung out with some family and stuff for the weekend. And then, I came back.
Not me.
Came back on Sunday.
You didn't hang out with me.
Well, I didn't have time. It was a very short trip.
I know your family. They know me. Wouldn't be weird if I was there.
Possibly not. But there was specific things planned because it was celebrating my parents' 50th anniversary, which was actually on the 13th of October, but they wanted to wait to have the celebration until we were in town. And then the other was Iman's mom's birthday party. So,
oh man, she loves me.
Well, she's not quite over that one time, that incident, the incident that occurred.
Well, I think, just completely cutting me out is not going to move along the process. I think we need to try a different strategy here.
Well, then you need to reach out.
Iman's mom. Oh, I do. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is on me.
This is on you. It's always been.
I'm the one. I got to put in all the effort here and do all the work.
You caused the problem.
What a racket. Yeah. So she's the one who's got to fix it. That's how these things work.
You cause a problem and the other person has to fix it?
Look, if I cause the problem and then I fix the problem, it's just take. Iman's mom.
Yeah, how will they ever learn?
I'm doing all the giving here.
How will they ever learn to get over my mistakes if they don't try to fix them?
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you learn how to fix someone else's mistakes, you then know not to make those same mistakes yourself.
I think you can learn to not make those same mistakes by watching other people make the mistakes. You don't have to fix them.
Watch me, Matt. Watch me make mistakes.
I do.
All night short.
That was my mouth. So let's do this. Every year for Halloween, we find some of the worst scary movies that have ever existed. And we just, like most of our content on this show, we just read to each other.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't heard of any of these movies, it might inspire you to check them out. Yeah. Maybe they're so wacky that you're like, I have to see this train wreck. I have to see this pile of trash.
Yeah. So we've each picked out a couple of movies this year, and we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna get all into it, and we're just gonna do it.
All right. I'll start us off.
Oh fuck.
I know. So the first movie I chose is from, depending on where you look, 1989 or 1990.
Oh, that's already scary.
I know. Its success spans across 2 decades.
Technically, sure.
The movie is called Begotten. The film opens inside a small shack with a robed, profusely bleeding God disemboweling himself using a straight razor.
Okay.
After cutting open his abdomen and removing some of his internal organs, he dies.
Oh.
A woman, Mother Earth, then emerges from his mutilated remains So Mother Earth, emerges from his mutilated remains. She brings the corpse to arousal and uses his semen to impregnate herself. This is the opening of the movie.
Okay. So we're like maybe 3 minutes in?
Maybe. I mean, depending on how long he can hold out.
Yeah.
Or how good she is.
I mean,
maybe she's just that good.
Apparently she aroused a corpse, so.
Yeah. Time passes, and Mother Earth, now visibly pregnant, stands beside the coffin of the dead god, then wanders off into a vast and barren landscape. Mother Earth later gives birth. Yeah.
Just wanders off into the desert.
Yeah. Mother Earth later gives birth to Son of Earth, a malformed, convulsing man. He is soon abandoned by his mother, who leaves him to his own devices.
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know.
This just sounds like some art film. Like, this doesn't sound like an actual movie. There's been
99.
It seems like there's probably been no dialogue at this point.
I would not. Yeah, unless no dialogue, but just some like audible, verbal, like sounds of death and ejaculation, maybe.
And sometimes those are hard to differentiate.
That's why they both get me off. Okay. After spending some time wandering across the barren landscape, the Son of Earth encounters a group of faceless nomads who seize him by what is either a very long umbilical cord or a rope.
Are we supposed to decide? What?
I don't know. I guess.
What the fuck is this?
I don't know. Upon being captured, the Son of Earth begins to vomit up organic pieces.
Just pieces. Just
pieces,
Organic pieces of various shapes and sizes. Like what?
Yeah. The pieces which the nomads excitedly accept as gifts.
They captured him. They're not gifts at this point.
They then throw the man into a fire pit where he subsequently burns to death.
Okay, so now Son of Earth is dead?
Right. So who remains? Mother Earth. Mother of Earth.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
The mother. Okay. Son of Earth is then resurrected by Mother Earth, who comforts her newly reborn offspring before seizing him with a similar umbilical cord.
It's not the same one, though. The
Similar.
other one was a rope.
It might also be a rope.
All right. Continue.
And then they continue together across the barren landscape. The nomads soon return and proceed to attack the Son of Earth as Mother Earth stands in a trance-like state.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Turning their attention to her, the nomads knock her to the ground, proceeding to rape.
You paused really weird there.
I know.
They knock her to the ground.
To the ground. Proceeding to rape and murder her. As her son watches helplessly nearby. Son of Earth is left to mourn over the lifeless body.
Oh, he doesn't resurrect her?
No. She only, he doesn't have a similar umbilical cord or the power to do that.
I guess not.
Once the nomads have left, a group of roped figures arrive to carry away Mother Earth's mutilated, disemboweled remains.
All right.
The group returns to murder and disembowel her son.
Okay.
After he too is dismembered, the group began placing pieces of both mother and son into jars.
How do they have mother? I thought mother was taken away to be...
By this group. This is the group of roped figures that are not the nomads.
Figures now have killed the son. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So the nomads killed Mother Earth, but then the group of robed figures came and took her body away.
And then came back
and then returned and killed Son of Earth.
Got it.
And then also took his body.
It's crazy.
And
it's crazy that I'm not following this.
Yeah. Well, I have it in front of me, so it's easier for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's mind-boggling that I lost my place.
And to be fair, I'm kind of flying through this. To be fair, I'm not giving you a lot of time to really sit on anything.
Yeah.
After he too is dismembered, the group began placing pieces of both mother and son into jars, which they bury into the crust of the earth.
Oh, okay.
As time passes, the burial site soon becomes lush with flowers.
Oh.
A montage of photographs depicting the robed god are shown, In the final scene, Mother Earth and her son appear in a flashback wandering through a forested path.
What's the runtime on this movie? It can't be more than 20 minutes.
Let me find it.
Like, what the fuck?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I would. Like, I would be surprised.
It's like everything, but also nothing happens.
It doesn't seem
it's
like
a bunch of weird shit, but nothing goes on.
I know. You could ask anyone, what's this movie about? Anyone that's seen it, and they can probably not tell you.
Yeah. I don't think the person who made it could actually, like, tell you what it's about.
And what does it mean to be begotten?
What does anything in this movie mean? Like I honestly think there can't be any dialogue. Like, what would be said?
Well, nothing can be said between from the faceless nomads.
Yeah, faceless nomads who can apparently see, but like,
yeah,
I can't imagine.
So maybe they can talk.
When I read the plot of a movie, like I can kind of like I can understand, like, obviously dialogue has to happen throughout this, right? But this movie, like, nothing indicates that there's any any type of dialogue that would happen throughout any of this.
No, there's just walking through a barren wasteland. I mean, maybe when Son of Earth was mourning. Wait, no. First, Mother Earth was mourning. No, wait, how did it go? He was mourning her, right? Either way, during the mourning process.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like, "Oh, mother," or "Oh, son," something. Maybe whoever was mourning, said something like that. Possibly.
Did you find a runtime?
It's an hour and 12 minutes.
How?
40 minutes of that credits, maybe?
40 minutes of that walking in the barren wasteland? Like, walking?
Yeah. I mean, they really wanted to show how, Moses is the one who went through the desert. I don't know what's going on here.
Surprise. Nobody knows what's going on here. This doesn't make any sense.
I bet you Elias Merhige knows. He was a writer and director.
Is this a foreign film? Of course, this has to be a foreign film. This was not made in America.
Let me see.
This had to be filmed somewhere weird.
Country of origin, United States.
How? This has foreign film written all over it.
Filming locations, New York, USA.
Where in the fuck in New York did they film this? What barren waste did they film?
Well, there's not just New York City in New York.
Well, no, I know that, but I'm also just trying to think of like New York State in general. Like, what part of New York State was like a barren wasteland looking kind of place? Because I was imagining like just a desert.
Well, that part was shot in the volume.
That volume didn't exist, Sean.
Oh yeah, that's right. There were no cell phones. This was shot in front of green screen,
blue screen at that time, probably.
This was shot in front of Betamax.
I don't know how to react to this film.
Begotten. Just be begotten by it.
I am very begotten by it. I can imagine that it was probably like, 'cause the only thing it had going for it as far as it being like a horror movie or scary movie in any means were like the mutilation scenes
really
and
happen.
stuff. Yeah, that too. The mutilation scenes, I'm wondering if those were like super gory.
I bet.
Like they made them like really, really gory looking.
I bet.
And the rape scene was probably very graphic.
Very realistic. Takes me back.
Yeah, don't do that.
It takes me back to another rape scene.
This is, sometimes we read these and I'm just like, oh, we got to watch this. We got to see this. I don't know if I could.
Now that's
like part of me wants to just like maybe a snippet of it, just to kind of see what it looks like at least.
Even though it's only an hour and 12 minutes, I don't know if I can dedicate that much of my life to this.
Yeah, thing. I don't know. It just, I feel like I literally feel like even watching it, we still wouldn't have any idea what's happening.
Probably. I mean, the only thing we would walk away with the same amount of knowledge that we have right now, just only with what we have read here. I don't know that we would gain anything unless there's dialogue.
Maybe we'd be even more confused than we already are.
Yeah, I would come back to this document and some of the text would have been deleted.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, that was something.
Yeah.
You hear about something like that and then you think, that got made.
I know. I know.
I could make something. I could do something and it would at least be better than that.
You know what's funny is it's weird because when you look at stuff like this, you think, my God, it seems like anything can just get made as long as you know somebody or you just pitch it to the right people, whatever the case may be. And a lot of stuff that's been made, be it not even this bad, but just there's plenty of bad stuff that's out there. But some people that are in this industry will say like, oh, you don't realize like of all the stuff that gets made, like there's so much more that doesn't get made. Like it is so hard to get something actually made.
But it's like, wondering, and you think about some stuff too. It's like, oh, this movie that everybody's been like wanting to see, like do or wanting to see or bring these characters to the big screen, and it just gets stuck in this post or pre-production hell and then just gets dropped off. And then you see this other garbage that gets put out. And it's like, how does this get greenlit? But this other thing, like I get that some movies just get lost because it's like, it's going to cost way too much to make it and all this different stuff. But it's like, but then you guys, then these studios just dump out this garbage that loses them a shit ton of money. And it's like, just invest money into the thing you know is going to like, I mean, you never know it's going to make money, but the thing that maybe is a little bit more of a potential, you know, money maker, but you just dump this crap out over and over, this recycled shit, and just like,
yeah. But then Matt, garbage. Like what chance do the small indie, like what chance do those people have of getting something that's not like a surefire, solid, tried and true IP? You know what I mean? Like,
but I don't know. It's I mean, it's a shit shoot either way, but it's just, I just don't understand how just horseshit movies make it out. Cause everything gets everything gets screen tested.
Yeah.
Like, do you not know at that point, like this is, I mean, I guess a lot of times they do know at this point, this movie's crap, but we've already put all this money into it. We got to try to get something back.
Yeah. If we release it, we'll at least potentially get some money back in.
We can maybe at least break even. And at that point, it's still technically a loss, even if they break even. But
yeah,
I don't know. Let's move on from whatever that was. I don't get it.
Let's make a movie.
I you know, at this point, I need to just get back into writing the 2 screenplays I was going to try to write that I just never got around to. I just need to write them and then just give them to other people to read through and well, no, like write it and then give it to other people to read through and then make notes and, you know.
Look, don't let a potential buyer give you notes, not other people.
Well, I would shop it around to like my friends and stuff first and just be like, hey, read through this. Let me know what you think. Do I move stuff around? Should I change this or that? Like, give me your input on it, what you think maybe would make it better or whatever. And then kind of put some of that thought into it first. And then, then maybe try to shop it around. But
yeah.
All right.
Just make sure you have something to say.
I'm going to move us on to a movie that at least has an actual plot.
Oh,
that will at least have a beginning, middle, end. Like I don't know. I mean, I guess that movie did technically had.
Look, you can't argue. You can't argue. In that movie, things occurred.
Things occur, just not many.
But you don't need many.
But I'm going to talk about a movie that was also released in 1990.
Whoa.
And it's called Frankenhooker. You can probably already have a brief idea of what it might be about.
Frankenstein's monster hires hookers. Frankenstein hires hookers.
Maybe you don't know what it's about.
Frankenstein hires hookers for his monster just to get him some.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to read it because you're not. No.
Hook, line, and sinker. Frankenstein.
That's a different horror movie about fishing.
Frankenfishing.
Plot.
It's Al Franken fishing for 2 hours.
No, it's Jeffrey Franken. A young man who lives in New Jersey is a worker at a power plant and a scientist who specializes in bioelectricity.
Evil.
He's not only a worker, he's also a scientist.
I know. Is that what he does there?
That part it doesn't say.
Okay, what does he? He works at the power plant, but what does he do there? By the way, he also is a scientist.
Yeah.
In what? What?
Bioelectricity.
Oh, that's like us. That's like me powering the world.
The Matrix. He is about to marry his fiancée, Elizabeth. At the birthday party of Elizabeth's father, Jeffrey presents him with an automatic lawnmower as a gift. But when Elizabeth tries to demonstrate it, she is caught in its path and gruesomely killed. Jeffrey in his... Huh? She's somehow caught in its path.
Was she trying to operate it from like really far ahead of it?
I don't know. She was trying to demonstrate it.
Oh, that's different.
But she got caught in its path. Yeah, it's much different than operating something.
Yeah, it's
the difference between operating on somebody and demonstrating on someone.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Let me show you what removing your spleen is like.
Weirdly, it's weirdly sexual. Kind of. Allow me to demonstrate on you. Jeffrey, in his grief, begins plotting to use his knowledge of circuits to rebuild Elizabeth and bring her back to life. His grief drives him to have mock dinner dates with a few pieces of Elizabeth he could salvage, as well as performing self-trepanations with a power drill to help himself calm down. Whatever that means, he decides to make the perfect new body for Elizabeth by harvesting the body of a New York City prostitute.
Those are the best ones.
I'm going to say perfect body?
Look,
prostitute?
I mean, the one with the most experience.
Or the least would be possibly better. The least used would maybe be
he doesn't want
a better choice there.
He doesn't want her to have a body that doesn't know what it's doing.
I think it still has a lot to do with the brain at that point to know what it's doing.
Like it's as though at some point it doesn't any longer.
Well, I'm just saying, like it'd still be.
I think by this point,
I would assume it's still going to be. He still would want to use Elizabeth's brain, so it still has all her memories and things, right?
Yeah.
So the brain is what's telling the body what to do. So the body's experience doesn't really matter at that point.
No, because it's like the brain is like, oh, I'm really good at sex, but the body isn't.
Well, it's still her brain. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he's not having sex with her brain.
Yeah, but her brain is what's in the body.
Yeah, I know. I've done this.
So just because the body has a lot of sexual experience doesn't mean the brain's going to know shit about that.
Look, there are plenty of people that seem like they don't have much going on upstairs, but they can
they're still good at sex.
They can excel. Oh, yeah. They demonstrate all over the place.
Right.
This seems like a foolproof plan, by the way.
Right. Well, let's continue. After meeting several girls and their abusive pimp Zorro, a muscle-bound, temperamental crack dealer,
with a sword,
Jeffrey tricks Zorro. Yeah. Jeffrey tricks Zorro into letting him rent every one of the girls for a single night to find the one with the perfect body for Elizabeth. Inspired by a news report about crack cocaine causing the deaths of many New York prostitutes, he then develops a super crack, which he finds causes living beings to explode.
Wait, what? Why?
Don't know. It's super crack. I don't
know.
Wait,
who comes up with the super crack? The scientist.
Jeffrey does. Yeah, because he's
good at
you know what? Bioelectricity, so he knows how to make super crack.
So I was thinking at first, this is not going to help him find the perfect body if he's going to just blow them all up. But I bet you he's going to blow up the temperamental crack dealer pimp with a sword.
Let's find out. Deciding he's doing nothing wrong, as crack will probably kill the prostitutes anyway, Jeffrey lures them all into a hotel room under the guise of a medical examination and marks the girls with the body parts he wants for Elizabeth.
I'm a medical examination.
Yeah. However, as he begins to have second thoughts, the prostitutes all find the bag of super crack and all smoke it, despite Jeffrey's pleas, causing them all to explode into pieces.
Did he label it?
Yeah. Super crack. Do not smoke.
Lest ye will explode.
Yeah. Zorro hears the commotion and rushes into the room, only to be knocked out by one of the flying heads of the girls.
Oh, timing.
Jeffrey hurriedly puts the body parts into trash bags, promising to restore the girls once he brings Elizabeth back. He wouldn't be able to restore all of them.
No, and I thought you were going to say promising to recycle.
Oh, no. After picking the perfect body parts and sewing them and Elizabeth's head together into a single body, Jeffrey uses...
Hold on. He's trying to find the perfect body. So he's after blowing up a bunch of prostitutes' bodies, he's like, well, my only resort now is finding the perfect parts of each of these people.
Well, he said that earlier. He was marking the women with which parts of them he wanted to use for Elizabeth.
Oh.
So like this girl's butt, that girl's arms. Yeah.
So he okay.
So he already intended on using parts.
I thought he was trying to find the already existing perfect body and just use that and just place her brain inside or something. Gotcha. No. That wouldn't be Frankenhooker, I guess, if it wasn't. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
So after picking the perfect body parts and sewing them and Elizabeth's head together into a single body, Jeffrey uses the lightning from a nearby storm, just a nearby one, to shock Elizabeth's new body to life again.
Sure. Electricity.
However,
oh no,
her body and face move awkwardly, and she can only repeat what the previous girls said before they died, which is like, what? Let's smoke this fucking
super crack.
Yeah. The Frankenhooker escapes the basement and begins looking for customers who end up exploding from electricity when they try getting intimate with her. Sure. Jeffrey goes looking for Elizabeth and finds her at a bar. Unfortunately, Zorro is there too, and upon hearing her mention his name and recognizing her body parts, he angrily strikes her so hard her head mostly detaches from her body. Okay. Jeffrey evades Zorro and takes Elizabeth home to repair her neck and revive her again.
Why is this guy named Zorro? Why of all the names you could have chosen for this character, you chose Zorro?
Yeah. After bolting her head more securely on her new body, Jeffrey wakes Elizabeth up, finding her memory restored. Okay. It was the bolts that were needed.
Yeah, those memory-storing bolts.
Yep. At first, Elizabeth is impressed that Jeffrey brought her back, but becomes furious when she realizes that her body is now made of and how Jeffrey obtained the parts. It's a weirdly worded sentence. Jeffrey tries to explain himself, but he is attacked and decapitated by Zorro, who followed him home. Zorro then attempts to drag he used a sword, apparently.
He must have.
So
why not?
Yeah.
He rode Zorro
then
horse.
Zorro then attempts to drag Elizabeth away with him, justifying himself by claiming that most of her body belongs to him. However, the spare hooker parts have also been reanimated by the storm and merged into multiple grotesque limbed monsters, which overwhelm Zorro and drag him away into their storage cooler to his presumable death, along with his drugs.
It's Schrodinger's Zorro.
That part should have been earlier. They should have said drag Zorro along with his drugs to the storage cooler to his presumable death. Because otherwise it makes it sound like they drug him to his presumable death and also the drugs to their presumable death.
Yeah. No, I thought that too.
Yeah. Elizabeth decides to revive Jeffrey via the same procedure, which she somehow knows how to do, that he used on her. But since the process only works on female bodies for some reason, Elizabeth is forced to put Jeffrey's head on a body made of the hooker's body parts too, to bring him back. As Jeffrey awakens, Elizabeth happily says they'll be together ever, as Jeffrey moans in horror at his new female body.
Moans in horror.
Yeah.
So one thing I will say, if the storm by itself reanimated all the other body parts, then this scientist guy didn't really do anything.
Right. And, what happened if the storm was there instead of just nearby?
I know. So are there more intensely reanimated body parts like directly beneath the storm in that area?
Maybe.
We don't know.
I don't believe there's a sequel.
So one thing that we know that's unfortunate about what's the guy's name? Not Zorro, but the the guy who had to be
Jeffrey.
Well, okay, one thing we know that's a little unfortunate about Jeffrey is we know that his fiance got all the best parts.
True.
So he just got what was kind of left over.
Well, maybe she found what she thought were like the best parts in her eyes. Like those were the best parts in his eyes. She might have different taste in female bodies than he does.
And he doesn't have to have a taste in his own body. I mean, it's his body. So this works out. Right. They're both like going to be more attracted to each other than ever. Because the way they were born, not good enough for me.
I'm just curious as to how or if they explain why it only works on female bodies.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one part that doesn't make sense here. That's the one part that doesn't make any sense here.
Yeah, that's the one part.
Yeah, it is. All right, Frank. I mean, the 90s are proving to be a strong year or decade for.
So, moral of this story is: don't smoke super crack.
Never,
or you'll explode.
Snort it. Wait, you can't snort that.
And
can you? How does crack work?
I don't believe you smoke crack.
You smoke crack. What becomes crack? What does it start off as? Isn't it like? Here's what I'm always confused by.
It's crack cocaine.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because I've heard of crack, and I've heard of crack cocaine, and then I've heard of cocaine. So do you turn cocaine into crack somehow?
Weirdly enough, I don't know how drugs work.
If we have any like drug addicts or drug dealers that listen, you know where to find us.
Or just people with drug knowledge. You don't have to. You don't have to actually be physically involved with drugs in any way.
I suppose. Or any scientists that specialize in bioelectricity. Let us know.
If you've ever made super crack, to kill a hooker.
Wait, why do they have to do... Oh, hold on. You're like, no, we don't want to talk to drug dealers or drug addicts. We just want to find someone who's killed a hooker with super crack. We don't want to talk to any lowlifes.
Or if you've ever just killed a hooker in general.
Yeah, we have, by any means.
Yeah, we'd like to have you on the show.
We want to hear your side of the story.
This movie surprisingly had a budget of $2.5 million.
Holy cow! What? Oh,
and
in the 90s.
In the 90s, in 1990.
Yeah.
How much do you think it made?
So the budget was 2.9?
2.5 million.
2.5. It made $1 million.
It's box office. How much it made in box office?
$1 million.
No. $205,000.
Oh,
yeah. This one didn't make a lot of money.
Less than 10%.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm surprised. I'm curious now. Do you still have the tab up for your movie? Your previous movie.
So where do you find all that?
What was that one? It's all on the right hand side.
Is it on IMDb?
I mean, does the? Oh no, I'm on Wikipedia.
Okay, so hold on. Wikipedia. I should just search the movie. It was called Begotten.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what that one's budget and box office was. It probably wasn't even released in theaters, to be honest.
All right, let's see. Directed by, written by, starring. Release dates. 89 in Montreal World Film Festival, June 1991, United States. It just says runtime 72 minutes. So wait, I see a budget, but I don't see. Yeah. Where do you see what it earned? Is that
box office was directly under? So if it doesn't have one, I can't imagine it didn't make one. So what was its budget though?
Budget estimated. $33,000.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So,
and I'm sure it didn't make that back.
So yours is by far a much better movie.
It probably looks better. It probably
because it's got hookers.
No, well,
right. Yeah.
It probably looks a little bit more polished, I would guess. So there you go. That was Frankenhooker.
All right. Well, that was wild.
On to movie number
3. We're gonna leave the 90s. We're gonna go back a little bit further here. We're gonna go back to 1977.
Oh, damn, girl.
Yeah, we're gonna go to a movie called House, not to be confused with the medical drama of the same name.
This is the prequel.
Yeah,
it's the same storyline.
Exactly. He just solves all those. He diagnoses all those undiagnosable patients. All right, House, 1977. In Tokyo, a young girl known as Gorgeous, so called for her beauty.
Oh,
I know.
It's not one of those ironic names.
Yeah. Well, plus with those names, it's like, let's see how she turns out. Then we'll name her.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, because it's like, oh man, what a hot baby. Like, how do you anyway?
What a sexy baby.
Okay. All right. Anyway. Okay. All right. Let's get through the first sentence here. In Tokyo, a young girl known as Gorgeous, so called for her beauty, has plans for a summer vacation with her widowed father, a wealthy film composer who has been away in Italy on business. When he returns home, he surprises Gorgeous by announcing he has married a woman named Ryoko Ima. Distraught, Gorgeous goes to her bedroom and writes a letter to her aunt. She asks the aunt if she can come visit her in the summer instead. Gorgeous's aunt replies and allows her to come visit. Gorgeous invites her 6 friends: Prof, who is a highly academic and very good at problem solving; Melody, who has an affinity for music. Are you seeing what's happening here?
Jesus Christ. Yep.
This is the best one. Kung Fu, who is athletic and especially skilled at Kung Fu.
Karate.
Mac, who has a big appetite; Sweet, who is bubbly and gentle; and Fantasy, who is a constant daydreamer, to come along with her.
It's so great that they just, fit into the names they were given.
I know. Do you think it's like any bit of conditioning? Like, you sort of will yourself into that? On arriving at the aunt's house, the girls are greeted by Gorgeous's aunt, to whom they present a watermelon.
Okay.
Maybe it's a Tokyo thing.
Maybe it's a tradition.
After a tour of the home, the girls leave the watermelon in a well to keep it cold. Mac later goes to retrieve the watermelon and does not return.
Oh, he ate the watermelon.
And had the poops.
He jumped into the well to eat the watermelon.
And died.
And died from poops.
He died. All right. Writing it made me laugh more.
Poops related death.
Where was I? Okay. Well, fine. Okay. When Fantasy goes to retrieve the watermelon from the well, she finds Mac's disembodied head, which flies in the air and bites Fantasy's buttocks before she escapes.
Turns out it was just a daydream.
It was a fantasy. The encounter is initially disregarded by the other girls, but over time they also begin to encounter other supernatural traps throughout the house.
Oh, what?
I know. Now it's a house problem. Okay. The aunt disappears after entering the broken refrigerator, and the girls are...
That's why they couldn't put that's why they put the watermelon in the well.
Yeah. And the girls are attacked or possessed by a series of items in the house.
Wait. You can't have both. It can't be one or the other. It has to be. You can either get attacked by something or possessed by something.
You make up your mind. We're both doing this. Weigh your options. Such as Gorgeous becoming possessed after using her aunt's mirror, and Sweet disappearing after being attacked by mattresses.
Oh, okay. That's why it's possessed or attacked, because it's.
They had to list off the examples.
Different people are getting different things.
Right. The girls.
I thought it was all of them getting one or the other.
That's what that first sentence would make you think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The girls try to escape the house, but after Gorgeous is able to leave through a door, the rest of the girls find themselves locked in. Maybe by Gorgeous. I don't know.
So she tried to leave but couldn't, and then the rest of them are like, I guess we're locked in.
No.
Like they all discover they're locked in?
No, Gorgeous was able to leave through a door.
Oh,
and then the rest are locked in. I would blame Gorgeous, maybe.
Why wouldn't you leave the door open so everyone could escape?
I don't know.
It's not polite to leave a door open when you walk through it. You must always close the door right behind you, and the next person must open and then close it as well.
To be fair, Gorgeous was possessed by a mirror, or maybe it was a round window.
Oh. Reference.
Yeah. The girls try to find the aunt to unlock the door, but discover Mac's severed hand in a jar. Melody begins to play the piano to keep the girls' spirits up, and they hear Gorgeous singing upstairs as Prof and Kung Fu go to... What?
She left the house.
I know.
I thought she left the house.
Through a door. Well, it just said she... Wait, let me see. Gorgeous is able to leave through a door. Maybe the house or maybe just the room. I don't know. This is the beginning of a sentence I love. As Prof and Kung Fu go to investigate.
Nice.
Melody's fingers are bitten off by the piano.
Oh, what?
And it ultimately eats her whole. Not really. If they bit off the fingers first,
eats her entirely,
or eats,
or
well, it's spelled. I'll leave that up open to interpretation.
So one bad thing happened, and then one good thing happened.
Right. Just to keep her spirits up.
And then she died from poops.
That's how everyone dies in this movie. Spoilers. Upstairs in the house, Kung Fu and Prof find Gorgeous wearing a bridal gown, who then reveals her aunt's diary to them. Kung Fu follows Gorgeous as she leaves the room, only to find...
Not thinking of it being a name, but just as a thing.
I know.
Kung Fu follows.
Kung Fu follows Gorgeous. I know. Only to find Sweet's body trapped in a grandfather clock, which starts bleeding profusely. The clock or the body, I don't know. Panic-driven, the remaining girls barricade the upper part of the house, while Prof, Fantasy, and Kung Fu read the aunt's diary. The reading is...
It's just all... It's getting weird just because these are all just like...
Things
or concepts.
Right, I know. But we have to think of them as people. I feel if only...
As people.
If only, maybe if we had pulled up, their characters' images so we could put faces to these concepts and things. Okay, read the aunt's diary. The reading is interrupted by the giant-sized head of Gorgeous, who reveals that her aunt died many years ago while waiting for her fiancé to return from World War II.
Then how did she call her aunt earlier in the movie to ask if she could come earlier or come in the summertime?
I don't know. And Gorgeous must have known this beforehand?
Yeah. I would have, if her now giant head is telling everyone.
And what is the reading of the diary? What are they trying to get here? Maybe her accounts of how she set up these traps in the house or something?
Who knows?
Her spirit remains eating unmarried girls who arrive at her home.
Then why'd they kill the boys?
That's a good question. Because so they wouldn't marry the girls.
And why eat unmarried girls? What is the... That's the I would have to say that's the first time that's not a typical trope that you see in a horror movie.
Right.
Unmarried girls are being killed everywhere.
I know. The three girls are then attacked by household items. Prof shouts to Kung Fu to attack the aunt's cat. Blanche.
The cat Blanche. Why does the cat have a human name and everybody else has fucking weird ass names? Blanche the cat.
The only way I know to take out a cat, as Kung Fu lunges into a flying kick, Kung Fu is a woman?
Oh, maybe it is all women.
She is.
I guess I didn't.
Yeah, I thought Kung Fu. Sorry to be. Wait, hold on. Does it say?
I thought it.
It just says.
I thought it stated.
It just says Kung Fu, who is athletic and especially skilled at Kung Fu. We made an assumption.
I guess so. I assumed Mac. I also assumed Mac was.
It does sound
a guy. And who was the first one to? Who was the person who died earlier in the well?
Mac.
That was Mac.
Mac goes to the well.
I think I assumed Mac was a guy as well.
You know what's odd? I did too. And all they say is Mac.
Just because of the name Mac, I think.
Yeah, Mac.
And Prof. Prof, I also just assumed in my head was a guy.
I know. We are sexist pigs.
I don't know why.
We are sexist pigs.
They just sound more like they would be like a male name, I guess. Yeah. Whereas like Melody,
Fantasy, Gorgeous.
Yeah, those are more feminine names sounding to me. Like I would see somebody. Yeah, I don't know. My bad.
Sorry. Mine as well. I grossly misinterpreted this movie.
So I guess it is all women that are being killed, and they're all not married.
Right. None of them are married. And I'm the aunt for some. Oh, is it a? Why is the aunt?
I also assumed the aunt was a male. My bad, all. My bad, everybody. And Blanche, the cat. That's a female cat. It's a female cat right there. If I ever done seen one.
You've seen a lot of them. Okay. Her spirit remains eating. Okay, let me see. We're ahead of that. As Kung Fu lunges into a flying kick, she is eaten by a possessed light fixture. Kung Fu's legs manage to escape and damage the painting of Blanche on the wall.
Just the legs. Damaged a painting of Blanche? Not even actual Blanche?
I was waiting for you to pick up on that part.
Like, did you go for the actual cat, or did you think the painting of the cat was the cat itself that you were attacking?
I think legs don't have a brain.
Also, hold on. What did the cat do that they just decided to attack it? Like, I feel like nothing.
Yeah. Prof shouts to Kung Fu to attack the aunt's cat Blanche. That's all it says.
That's the first we heard of Blanche, right?
That's the first reference to Blanche. Attack Blanche. There are
just kill the cat.
There are household items attacking us. You go kill the cat.
Hold on. Also, the aunt died years ago, but her cat's still alive in the house somehow.
Yeah. Well,
all right. I guess I'm asking this movie to make sense for some reason.
How foolish of you. Yet terrifying. Okay. Kung Fu's legs manage to escape and damage the painting of Blanche on the wall, which in turn kills Blanche physically.
Oh shit! It was like a fucking
voodoo doll.
Well, I was gonna say, what's that character?
Well,
I can't think of it. But there's a character who's like he has the painting of himself that ages, but he as long as that painting exists, he stays young. I can't think of Dorian Gray. I think.
So does the painting of him age
if the
as
painting,
in, like the painting, the image of him in the painting gets older? Like it looks like an old man?
The image of him gets older, but he stays young, I believe is the thing about him. And if the painting gets damaged, like he'll die or something like that.
Huh.
I'm not.
This is just like that.
Don't quote me on that, but it's something along those lines.
This is just like that. Yeah.
Dorian Blanche.
Dorian. Which in turn kills Blanche physically. The attacked Blanche portrait spurts blood, causing the room to flood. Prof tries to read
That's more than a spurt.
Spurts. Well, it spurts over a long period of time.
I've spurted. I know. Take it from me. The guy that spurts.
Okay. Prof tries to read the diary, but a jar with teeth pulls her into the blood, where she dissolves.
Then that's not blood at all.
And wouldn't everything else in the room dissolve at this point?
Yeah. Well, maybe only
Blanche,
organic material.
Oh yeah, like Blanche.
But I guess the wood then also
is organic and material.
Yeah.
Fantasy sees Gorgeous in the bridal gown and paddles towards her. Gorgeous appears as
paddles towards
through the blood.
In the blood.
Through the blood. And where'd she find a paddle? I don't know. Gorgeous appears as her aunt in the reflection in the blood, and then cradles Fantasy. In the morning, Ryoko, which I already forgot, who is that? Is that the dad?
Wasn't that the aunt?
Gorgeous by announcing he has married a woman named Ryoko. So her father's wife.
Her stepmother. Okay.
Yes. In the morning, Ryoko arrives at the house and finds Gorgeous in a classic kimono. Gorgeous tells Ryoko that her friends will wake up soon and that they will be hungry. She then shakes hands with Ryoko and burns her away to nothing.
Interesting. Now, this is so very opposite of the other movie you read.
There's so much
Whereas
going on.
That movie, nothing happened. And this one, everything happened.
Yeah. There's this little bit I pulled this other little bit from another site. I think it was like a commentary on it. At the same time George Lucas was making Star Wars, Nobuhiko Abayashi was making a film about a bunch of schoolgirls who get eaten by a killer piano. Not just about a killer piano, to be fair, as there's also a floating severed head who bites bums, an evil mattress, and a bleeding portrait of a cat that floods a whole room with acid blood. It's creative spin on the haunted house movie, and it's now a cult classic thanks to Obayashi's use of animation and collage special effects. But House is probably best enjoyed with a big old bag of LSD.
That's too much LSD. I'm going to tell you right off the bat.
Yeah, you don't want to do that much.
Yeah, a big bag of it.
Maybe they're also
best enjoyed with.
Maybe they're also saying, yeah, this movie pairs well with a large bag of LSD.
And a nice candy.
Yeah. Anyway. Yes, that was House, 1977. Let me find the info. Let me quickly go to Wikipedia.
I'd probably watch that one.
Yeah, I mean, I
I think I'd watch that one. That one sounds bonkers.
It sounds just nutty enough. All right, let me find.
Like, yeah, and I hope, because I assume you said it was a Japanese film.
Yeah,
I assume, not assume, but I hope there is a dubbed version of it, and I hope it's awfully dubbed.
I hope so. So here, this doesn't have any budget information or earnings. It just says that it is 88 minutes, and its country is Japan, and its language is Japanese. So it doesn't. I mean, there may be a dubbed version out there somewhere, but
yeah, I hope so. I think that's one we should definitely try to find and watch because it sounds nuts.
I'll send you this quick. I just saw this for the first time, even though I pulled this from Wikipedia. There's a picture of what I think is the painting of Blanche. The special effects in house were purposely made to look unrealistic. It says so. Let me just see if I can copy and paste that quickly here. Yes. So house. Nope. That's just going to send you a link, but
that's fine.
You know what? I wonder if I can do something else.
A link is just fine.
Well, I'm going to try one more little ditty before I give up and send you just the link. I'll send you that. And then I'll drag this over and see if that... Yes. All right.
All right.
So you have received the image.
Oh, wow. It's straight up just a cartoon cat coming out of a painting.
Yeah. So this looks awesome.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we definitely need to watch this. That looks great. Good find.
Yeah, I was pleased.
Good.
I got excited when you had said you hadn't heard nothing about this one. So
yeah, it's a good route to go with Japanese horror movies. I don't know anything about them. So good move. I love it.
All right, movie number 4.
Movie number 4. This one from I'm also going a little back from 1990 to the year 1988.
Wow, is it a period piece?
We'll see. This movie is called Hobgoblins.
Okay.
It's Hobgoblins. It, I believe, is set in present day at the time. Just a weird phrase.
Yeah. Well, it was set in present day back then, but now it's past.
Yeah. That's why I always love watching old movies and it's like present day. It's like, no, it's not. Nope. It never will be ever again. Never say present day. Just put the year. Yeah. Just put the year, because if I watch this movie 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it's not present day no more. Well, it's dated.
Yet, when people were seeing that movie for the first time in the theaters,
right?
It puts that in. It's like, wow, this could be. I could have to go through this. This is where I am. I am in present day. So that's the reason behind that.
Mm-hmm. They should always just put in parentheses after present day, like at the time.
Yeah, why not? Or they could save
at the time of or
filming. They could save some of that graphics budget and
just let us assume. All right. Hobgoblins from 1988. All right. The film opens with a security guard named Dennis investigating a deserted film vault at an old movie studio. You know how security guards investigate things?
Yeah, and are often guarding like empty things.
Yeah, deserted vaults. While inside, his fantasy of being a rock star comes to life, but he dies while performing on stage.
What?
His boss, Mr. McCready, closes the door upon discovering the body. That's how it opens.
I'm questioning the boss now already.
Something's up.
I'm questioning Mr. McCready.
A young man named Kevin takes the now vacant job so that he can impress his girlfriend, Amy.
I got a job, honey. Do me.
Yep. Upon arriving home after his first shift, he finds that his two friends, the sex-crazed Daphne and the dorky Kyle, are waiting for him along with Amy. Daphne's army boyfriend, Nick, also arrives. Nick and Kevin spar with a rake and a garden hoe in a long, protracted, repetitive scene.
Just clowning around.
Don't know what led to it, but
well, they're just clowning around,
After Kevin loses horribly, Amy berates him for his weakness while Daphne and Nick have sex in Nick's van.
No. But wait,
good fight, babe.
But wait, isn't he trying to impress? Wasn't he trying to impress her with the job? And now he's lost the fight with the gardening tools?
Yeah, now he's lost the fight, and now she's berating
Things just
him.
cannot go right for this dude. And he's young.
Yep. While in a pursuit of a burglar the next evening, Kevin stumbles across the vault, which is revealed to contain a small group of hairy, demonic little aliens.
Wait, wasn't that
the hobgoblins?
Wasn't that what he was guarding?
No, I don't think he was that.
There was a vault inside an empty film studio. What is he guarding?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, so the hobgoblins.
So yeah, it reveals the demonic little aliens, the hobgoblins, who subsequently escaped, leaving Kevin stunned. His boss, the elderly Mr. McCready, who we met earlier, explains that the hobgoblins crash landed on the studio lot decades earlier, and he has been closely guarding them ever since. The hobgoblins have the hypnotic power to make a person's wildest fantasies come true.
Hold on. The boss is guarding the hobgoblins, but he hires a guard to possibly discover the hobgoblins?
They're just guarding the security. They're security guards, not hobgoblin guards.
So only if the
follow along.
Sorry. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm trying to clear this up. So only if the hobgoblins threaten the security does the security guard get involved.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Okay. So yeah, the hobgoblins have hypnotic powers to make a person's wildest fantasies come true. However, they also kill their victims in the process when people's fantasies turn against them. So the rock star guy earlier.
But
there you go.
So they do that when the fantasies turn against them. So the fantasy turning against them had nothing to do with them killing him?
I don't. The way it's worded makes it sound like the fantasies turning against them is not part of what the hobgoblins are doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting out of it.
Like it's just an unfortunate incident that occurs sometimes.
Yeah, and so for the hobgoblins, it's just like an opportunity kill. Or like, oh, we got check it out. This guy's fantasy, fortunately for us, turned against him. And
yeah, I think I don't think it's like. I think it's supposed to mean like they also kill them because they turn the fantasies against them as well.
Oh, they're
giving them the fantasy, they're also turning the fantasy against them. Well, the hobgoblins go straight to Kevin's house, where his friends are partying. As they are attracted by the bright lights, the hobgoblins quickly make their fantasies come true, but with dire consequences.
Oh no.
The quiet, prudish Amy's fantasy leads her to a sleazy nightclub, Club Scum, where it turns out that
it's this real upscale nightclub, Club Scum.
Yeah, well, you remember you were talking about weird people named Zorro.
Yeah.
There's a name coming up here in a little bit. All right.
Is it better than Kung Fu?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we've had a lot of weird named people this episode. So yeah, sleazy nightclub, Club Scum, where it turns out that Amy's deepest fantasy is to lose her sexual inhibitions and be a stripper. Kevin and the others follow her there, for research.
Yeah, we want to support her.
The nightclub erupts into chaos while Kevin and his friends try to kill the rampaging hobgoblins.
Sure.
Nick is given a fantasy in which he leads a commando raid. In the melee, Nick is set on fire by a hand grenade thrown by his commanding officer and is apparently killed. Parentheses. Again, his fantasy goes to extremes and turns against him. End parentheses.
But he was given the fantasy.
Yeah. Though he returns later in the movie bandaged and on crutches, but otherwise unharmed.
Okay. Yeah, you could list off list off all the injuries, but otherwise he's unharmed.
Yeah, otherwise unharmed. Kevin kills the hobgoblin in control of Amy before she can have sex with the scruffy bouncer Road Rash.
Whoa! Road Rash.
Although Amy is restored to her original personality, her experience leaves her less sexually repressed than she was before.
Well, that's good.
Thinking that all the hobgoblins are dead, because they've killed apparently one, Kevin, Amy, Kyle, and Daphne return to the studio lot to report back to Mr. McCready. Kevin is confronted by the burglar from earlier that night and beats him in a fight, finally proving his bravery to Amy.
They're gonna do it.
Kevin's victory, however, is short-lived as the burger.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past this movie.
As the burglar is revealed as yet another phantom created by the hobgoblins.
Oh no!
As he pulls a gun from an ankle holster and aims it at Kevin, Mr. McCready shoots the controlling hobgoblin, thus saving Kevin's life. The remaining hobgoblins run back into the vault with McCready, which McCready has filled with explosives.
Oh, no.
The hobgoblins are then blown to pieces. Amy promises to have sex with Kevin. Nick returns to have sex with Daphne, and Kyle, the odd man out, asks to use Mr. McCready's phone, presumably for more phone sex.
More?
There must have been some earlier. I thought it'd been funnier if it said Kyle, the odd man out, asks Mr. McCready to have sex.
but wait a second. Mr. McCready, okay, he guarded the hobgoblins. Was he just making sure they didn't get out? Is that why he was guarding them?
I don't know. He'd been guarding them for decades. Then he's like, "Yeah, let's kill him."
Right. He loaded the explosives in the vault. Right. So he killed the hobgoblins that he was hired to guard.
Maybe he decided that they just at that point they caused too much trouble.
Kids, they have sex. Yeah,
lots of it apparently.
But, so because he.
Well, Amy only promised to have sex with Kevin.
Oh, so maybe it didn't even happen yet.
It might not have happened. I mean, maybe she broke that promise. There's a good chance of that. But
I don't get why at the very beginning, when the first guy got killed after his rock star fantasy turned on him, that the McCready just closed. He saw this and just closed the door. And where were the hobgoblins then?
Well, because they were inside the vault,
which he was in, right?
Yeah, so he went into the vault. He went into their territory. So at that point,
that's why the fantasy turned on him.
What's done is done.
Okay, so he's just like, well, I can't do anything about it. Let me still contain the hobgoblins so they don't get out.
Right.
Well, I think that Club Scum sounds like a real. I wouldn't be embarrassed to bring someone there.
You'd be embarrassed?
No,
you wouldn't. Okay.
I mean, you can become less sexually repressed.
I think putting the word club in front of it seems weirdly unnecessary. It'd probably be cooler if it was just called Scum. I mean, hey, let's go to Scum.
That's modern time thinking. This is the 80s,
Yeah.
They're like, what kind of business is this? What kind of business are you running here? Well, clearly it's a club, officer.
Well, it's a club.
Scum.
Yeah.
Don't act like you've never been here before, officer. Last name.
Yeah. It's clearly a stripper bar, which I can imagine if I was ever, a young woman who was thinking about becoming a stripper. Club Scum seems like the kind of place I wouldn't want to be stripping at.
You got to go where you can get hired. We haven't seen.
Yeah. It's probably just like the nicest, cleanest place.
It's immaculate.
It just doesn't fit the.
Oh yeah, it's ironic. It's an ironic name.
Yeah,
yeah. The mayor goes there. The mayor is a regular of Club Scum. I mean, he and Road Rage are tight. Or Road Rash. What was the guy? Road Rash.
Road Rash. Road Rage.
he and Road Rash are tight.
What's your name? Road Rage. Oh, what do they call you?
Well, why is that such a laughable name compared to Road Rash?
I don't know. I don't know why Road Rage made me laugh more than Road Rash.
Road Rash is like you get really itchy while driving.
No, Road Rash actually
yes,
is, don't you? Okay.
But you get a rash.
It's a skin condition.
Just need a topical.
When you're on long drives.
Topical cream. When on long drives. Come on, it's the annual trip.
Topical cream, as in
it talks about current events.
Yeah, it's a cream. It's a cream that you put on current events
to make them better, to heal.
You know what would go good with this current event? A little cream.
Oh God, this current event is not doing well.
Yeah, it's not. It's a little bitter. It needs a sweet, something sweet.
That's what we need, Matt. That's what we need for the world right now. We need some sort of topical cream for current events.
Mm-hmm. I think everybody could get along a lot better. We'd all be better to each other and more kind.
Well, that was great.
Yeah,
those were movies, technically.
Yeah, this one, I don't have a box office on it, but the budget, cheapest one
under
yet.
$33,000.
Yeah, $15,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I was only successfully able to provide one budget estimated for one of my movies, and I wasn't able to provide box office returns for either of them.
Yeah, and the one and the one movie was made in Japan, and their money isn't real.
I have yet to recognize it.
Oh, Jesus, that was amazing. It's the best joke so far. Well, everybody,
happy
Happy
Halloween.
Halloween. Go be safe out there while you're trick-or-treating. I'm assuming our listeners still trick-or-treat.
They're all children.
And
go Jets.
What? No. Don't.
What? I like when Jets go.
Be careful out there and don't die from poops.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye. There it is.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at hsfamouspod. Or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
God, Mother Earth, Son of Earth, faceless nomads, a group of roped figures.
Jeffrey Franken, Elizabeth's father, a New York City prostitute. Zorro, a nearby storm.
Gorgeous, widowed father. Ryoko Ima, the aunt. Prof, Melody, Kung Fu, Mac, Sweet Fantasy, a watermelon. Unmarried girls. Blanche, the big old bag of LSD.
Dennis, Mr. McCready, Kevin, Amy, Daphne, Kyle, Nick, the Hobgoblins. Club Scum, Road Rash, presumably for more phone sex.
More?